Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my go-to glowy makeup routine. I get so many questions about how I do this makeup on TikTok, so I thought I would finally give you a full-length tutorial. Over the past year, my makeup look and style has kind of changed quite a lot because I finally found makeup that suits my eye shape. So if anyone has got similar eye shape to mine, this look should also be perfect for you guys, and really anyone. I think this look can honestly suit tons and tons of people. So let's get on with the video. Okay, the first thing I'm going to start with is skin prep. This is so important for having the kind of glowy base, because if you don't like moisturize and everything on your face, then the product just doesn't sit as nicely. And I found some really amazing products that I think just make my skin look 10 times better just from using them. So the first thing I did was I washed my face with the CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. This cleanser is so good, it's so gentle, and I really recommend it for anyone with sensitive skin. I started using this when I was on Accutane, and I think it's honestly really great, and it's just nice and it doesn't leave your skin really dried out or anything. So that's the first thing I've used, and now we're going to do SPF and moisturizer. I'm going to use this ultraviolet SPF 50. This is the Supreme Screen Hydrating Facial Sunscreen, and I love this. If I have a tip for anyone, one tip to take away from this video, please wear SPF. I literally cannot stress this more. Wear SPF, guys. Like, just wear it, because it's going to prevent wrinkles in the future. No one wants wrinkles, so I'm gonna keep wearing this till the day I die. And this is just a really nice one, and it also does leave my skin glowy while also being SPF 50+. So very good at protecting the skin as well. I'm just gonna quickly put my fringe behind my ears, and what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just gonna put 2 pumps into my hands, and then I'm just gonna spread it all on my face. And I think you can already start to see how my skin is just looking so glowy, and it's also now going to be protected from the sun. I'm also making sure to get my SPF down my neck, because I saw a picture of this woman who'd used her SPF only on her face and not her neck, and like for 20 years, and her neck looked very bad. So I'm going to make sure to apply it on my neck. And that is our SPF done. The next product I use is this Release facial cream. This is so hydrating, and honestly it makes makeup go on so beautifully. So I'm just gonna get a bit on my hand like that, and I'm just gonna put it all on my skin. As you can see, it's quite liquidy actually for a moisturizer, but it's so good. Like, I love this. And as you can see, now my skin is just looking so hydrated and glowy. Now onto actual makeup. I'm going to start with foundation. I'm going to be using the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation. This is such a good foundation. I am the shade 4, and this is my winter shade. In summer, I do really like the Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua Foundation because it's a bit more lightweight than this, and has a slight bit more glow, and is just slightly darker than this one, so I can wear it in summer. But yes, this is the foundation that I use whenever I'm doing a full face of makeup. So I'm just going to actually put 2 pumps on my hand, and I like to apply my foundation with my fingers, so I just basically dot it around my face. I do some on my cheek, the most on my cheeks, mainly on the inner part though, to, you know, go outwards. And then on my chin, a tiny bit on my nose. I don't really do much on my nose. And some on my forehead, and I'm just leaving a bit on my hand for in a second, and then I'm just gonna blend it in with my hands. I honestly think hands are such a good tool for makeup because they're cheaper than brushes, and I think it really does give a nice and natural, more skin-like effect than maybe a brush can or a beauty blender type thing. So that's what I do in terms of foundation, and now I'm going to do concealer, where I'm just going to use the same foundation and put it under my eyes because I don't ever really feel the need to brighten, which is what most people do with concealer. So I literally just use the same shade under my eyes and on my face, just a bit more concentrated under my eyes as they're a bit darker. And I just tap this in with my finger as well. And you can always apply a bit more if one needs more. I find sometimes one of my eyes, it must just be darker than the other at times, so it needs a bit more than the other eye when I look at it. And that is my concealer done. So now I'm just gonna set my under eyes with powder so that it doesn't crease. I'm using the By Terry Hyaluronic Pressed Hydra powder. This is like so amazing. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this under my eyes right here. And then I do sometimes just put a bit in my T-zone, not too much though. So this is just what my foundation and concealer is looking like on my skin right now. Very skin-like, which is what I like. I don't really like the look, first of all, of heavy cakey makeup, and the feeling. This feels really lightweight on the skin. I can't really feel it at all, to be honest. So that is a pro of this foundation. I'm gonna now move on to bronzer, and you can see the reflection of my camera here, but this is the Fenty Beauty bronzer, and I love this so much, as you can see. I just like to do this around the edge of my face. I'm just gonna do that and on my neck as well. This just adds a bit more depth to the face and just warms up the skin a bit more, because I find that in winter I can look very much like a ghost. So this is nice to make me look less like a ghost. And I'm using this Real Techniques brush actually. This is one that's made for blush, but I find that because it's so big and it's got so many bristles, I think it's good for getting like quite an even placement of bronzer. Now it's time for blush, and I'm gonna be using the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Light Wand, and this is such a good blush. This is the shade Pinkgasm, and I'm just gonna do a dot on this cheek, a dot on this cheek, oh that was a bit lower, and a tiny bit on my nose as well. Then I just start by kind of moving it inwards to the center of my face, but then I put most of the product kind of up and onto my temples, because I just like the look of kind of a higher blush, and I just keep doing that, and then the little bit on my nose I just kind of rub that in normally, so then it kind of just looks like a nice pink flush. For highlighter, I'm going to be using the Lisa Eldridge Elevated Glow, and this is really nice, and all I'm going to do with this is put a tiny bit on the high points of my face, like here, my nose, and my cupid's bow, and then with my fingers again I'm just gonna kind of blend it like this, and there we go. Now my base is done. This is what it looks like, but time to move on to the eyes, which I think is what most people care about when they ask me what I do for my makeup on TikTok. So time to show you what I use. If you've got a similar eye shape to me, I think mine, I don't know what you'd call it, a somewhat almond eye shape. I genuinely don't know, don't quote me on that. And I've got fairly small eyes. This makeup will be so good at kind of making your eyes look bigger, because I always just find the basic shapes that people used to do makeup on wouldn't really suit my eye shape. Like when people just buff kind of stuff over the lid and stuff and it comes kind of circular, it doesn't make my eyes look any bigger, and it doesn't really do anything for me. So what I'm gonna show you here, it's just really nice and easy, and I recommend this for beginners as well, because there's not really any hard steps to do this eye look. So palette that I use for all my eyeshadow is the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes. This palette is everything, and this is also a really good palette if you're a beginner with makeup, as it has, for each kind of matte shade, there is a glittery shade that corresponds with it. And I mean, I don't tend to use it in this way, but if you are the type of person to just buff a color on and then get a shimmery shade to tap over, this is a really good palette for that. The first step I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this light pink shade, and I'm just gonna buff it all over my eye, just like this. So now I've got that there, and I'm also gonna put it on the underneath of my eye. And I'm trying to make the shape as I join them slightly more outward and maybe more triangular, I guess you could say. So it kind of goes out rather than in a circle. Okay, there we go. That's the first step for the eyes. And then the second thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the slightly darker pink shade and put it mainly under my eyes, but also kind of bring it up to create that winged shape as well. So I'm just gonna put it along this bottom part and then bring it outwards. And this type of makeup is also really quick when you get the hang of it, and it's not the type of thing that you need to be that precise with, because this is kind of just a wash of colour that we're achieving right now before we get onto the more technical stuff. The next step is getting these two brown shades, and I kind of mix them together, hence why you can see all the kind of dark brown dots in the lighter one. And we're just going to create a small wing going upwards here with this eyeshadow, and it means that you can kind of mess up and use your finger to correct it, which is what I like, because one always turns out less good than the other. I kind of follow my natural eye line on here, so I just keep going up like that. So I've made that initial line, as you can see, and then I just make it into more of a wing by just adding more to make it bigger. And there we go, that is the first wing done. So that's all I really do for the eyeliner, because I'm not the type of person to bring it towards my inner corner, purely for the fact that, I don't know if you can see, but with my eye shape, I don't really have much eyelid space, which means that when I do eyeliner, it takes up my whole kind of lid, and that's all you can see. So I just do the wing there and kind of just stick the wing on, and it kind of blends into my lash line anyway, so I don't need the extra part. And then I'm just gonna do the same wing on the other side. My second wing always seems to not turn out as good as my first one, but I think these have actually worked out pretty well. So the next step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the same shades again and just put them onto my lower lash line and like in here, but I only go halfway. This can also be kind of messy. It doesn't really matter how you do it. I just do it pretty quickly. And I kind of get it underneath the lashes, but also over or in the waterline kind of part. So there we go. That's what that will end up looking like. And I'm gonna repeat this on the other side. There we go. So now I've got the kind of wing. Now this is a part where you could kind of stop here and just apply mascara, and this would just be a nice natural kind of browny pinky wing. But I like to add glitter because glitter makes everything getting better in my opinion. So I'm going to show you how I do my glitter placement and what products I use for that too. Now the one thing that I always get asked about on TikTok, and this is like genuinely the most asked question about me, is what glitter do I use on my eyes, which is the one I tend to use on my under eye. And these are the Peripera Sugar Twinkle eye glitters in the shades 1 and 2. I'm going to use this shade 1 and I'm going to start by just putting it under my eye here, just there. This glitter as well definitely helps make your eyes look bigger. I don't know what it is, but it just draws more attention to the kind of whole shape around my eye. So I just apply that there and there. And then I'm actually going to use this shade 2 as I go more into the eyeshadowy part, because it actually kind of matches the shade of the shadow that I've used. So I'm going to use a bit less of this, but kind of just blend it together using this shade. There we go. So this is just what the under eyes tend to look like. And then on the top of my eyelid as well, I do a kind of line like that. And it just outlines the shape that we've made with the eyeshadow. And I think these are also really, really good beginners glitter products, because as they're in a gel, it's more forgiving to kind of move it around if you've placed it in the wrong area. And it's just super easy with the applicator to use. Okay, now that is the main eye look done. So now it's time for mascara. The mascara I'm going to be using is the Monsieur Big from Lancôme, and I love this mascara. It makes my eyelashes, that I'd say I've already got pretty long eyelashes, but this just makes them 10 times bigger, and I literally cannot describe how much I love this. So I'm just gonna apply it. I mean, there's no tips I could give you on mascara. It's just a case of how much you want on, and then the other eye as well. And then that's the top lashes, but I also like to do my lower lashes, just because I think since I do makeup on the bottom lashes, I don't want all my lashes to blend in with that makeup, so I just do it to make them stand out a bit more. And I only really do it on the outer ones as well, because that's where the wing and everything is. Okay, that is my mascara all on, and it's time for my eyebrows. Now I've said this many times before, I don't really pluck, fill in, or do anything with my eyebrows because they're naturally quite full. But I do use a brow gel just to kind of get them in place and in a nice shape rather than looking messy like they do right now. So I'm going to be using the Got2b Brow Gel. I really, really like this one, and it holds my eyebrows in place for hours and hours and hours. Like, this stuff is strong because it's by like a hairspray company. So I recommend this, and it's also a kind of drugstore product that you can get in a Boots or Superdrug, I'm sure. And what I do is I make sure I get the kind of curved side, and I just brush all the hairs in my eyebrows up. And I guess I let that marinate while I do the other eyebrow. Just brush them all up. And then because I don't really like to leave them just like this, I make the shape of them by grabbing the kind of other edge, and I just flatten the top and curve down. And that makes my eyebrow shape like this. And then I just do the same on the other one. Very, very quick, and it stays for hours, so very good. Now we are on to the final step of my makeup, which is the lips. And the first thing I'm gonna do is quickly do a bit of prep, which I could have done earlier, but I forgot. So I'm just gonna apply a bit of this Laneige lip sleeping mask. I've only got the small version, but I'm just gonna put a bit of this on. This is honestly such a nice lip balm. All of the like scents of this as well smell so good, and it stays on my lips for so long as well. Like, it really, really is one of the best lip balms I've tried. And I'm also gonna do lip gloss over the top. So I'm gonna use this Dior Lip Maximizer lip gloss in the shade 012. And this lip gloss, oh my gosh, I can't describe how amazing it is. Let me put it on and show you guys. It's just the most perfect natural kind of nude shade for the lips, and I love it so much. But that is all for my makeup routine. So here is the final look. I hope anyone who wanted to know how I do my makeup is satisfied with this tutorial. I tried my hardest to make everything be explained as simple as possible. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I mean, I do this all the time, so it's not often that I don't enjoy how it looks, but this is the final look. Ta-da! So that will also be the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching this video. But yes, that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!